Hey YouTube, Untamed here. So behind me I have a 2024 Ford Ranger Raptor. And really kind of a unique happenstance. One of you guys actually reached out to me and said, hey, I also live in Wyoming and I'll be out in your neck of the woods this upcoming week. Would you be interested in checking it out, getting behind the wheel, and actually getting a solid feel for this vehicle? So definitely appreciate Curtis for reaching out and offering that up, because today I get a really good idea of what this Ford Ranger Raptor is all about. So in today's video, I'm going to really make a lot of comparisons, of course, to the 2024 Toyota Tacoma and why I truly believe that this is definitely the better buy. I've driven the new Tacoma a number of times, various trims, and I just can't fathom paying $10,000 more for a new TRD Pro or Trailhunter compared to the Ranger Raptor here. So let's get into it. So for starters, when you walk up to the Ranger Raptor here, you quickly notice just how beautiful this Shelter Green paint is. I've geeked out about it plenty of times on the channel. For F-150 Raptor, I showcased that one time, but I absolutely love this color here. It's definitely unique, and it is one of those colors where you don't realize just how much that metallic flake pops until you're looking at it up close and personal. So I absolutely love that. So you kind of have that C design headlights here that look great. And I feel like I should maybe open with Curtis. He actually bought his Ranger Raptor here from Laramie Ford here in Wyoming. Laramie Ford, right?
Laramie Range Ford.
Laramie Range Ford here in Wyoming, and thankfully they were not one of the greedy dealerships who was trying to hike up the price tags, because if you guys know, if you followed any Raptor, whether it's the F-150 Raptor or the Ranger here, a lot of dealerships really took advantage of people hiking them up $5, $10, $15, sometimes even more than that, $1,000 over MSRP. And thankfully, they were a very good dealership and they didn't deploy that kind of greedy tactic. So shout out to them, absolutely. So we're sporting some BF Goodrich KO3s. I think that's worth noting. We're actually at the point now where you can't go to like Discount Tire and buy a set of BF Goodrich KO3s, because originally BF Goodrich is sticking with manufacturer orders like this, putting them on vehicles OEM before it becomes an aftermarket option for folks. But very similar to the KO2s, as you'd imagine. I'm told that these do a little bit better in the wet and snow. Have you gotten in the snow yet?
Not yet.
Not yet? Okay. Well, you'll be the test of that. You can tell me. So, walk around the back. Like any Raptor trim, it does have pretty wide fender flares. That looks awesome. And really, when it just comes to the whole design cues of it, putting this right next to, I think, a new Tacoma TRD Pro or Trailhunter, this does look better. It looks more aggressive, in my personal opinion. And no, I'm not just saying that because Curtis is right there, but I truly do believe that. If you've seen my previous videos, I've echoed that sentiment a few times. Especially for that price point, right? $57,900 is roughly what he paid for this as MSRP. That TRD Pro, $67,000 and some change after delivery, which is absolutely insane. $10,000 more than this. So one aftermarket thing that Curtis has done, he put on this Pro X15 kind of soft cover. Does it roll up? Is that what it does?
Rolls up.
Awesome. So it definitely looks sleek. But there you go, you get a really good idea of just how much that Shelter Green pops in the sunlight. Love that. These appear to be, I didn't even tell you the size of the tires here, but we got 285/70 18s for the KO3s. And one more pan out shot. We'll jump on the inside here. One thing to note is you do have these like heat extractions up top, extractors on the side, venting, functional venting. And here is the interior of the Ranger Raptor. So that Ford Performance orange accenting all throughout it, which I think looks really good. Leather with kind of like a suede-like material inserts. No sunroof in this. I do believe it's an option, but I think if you talk to anybody who actively off-roads their vehicle, and Curtis is one of those individuals, he's not like me, he's not like a full-up poser like myself. He enjoys this truck for what it's supposed to be doing. I'll show you the back seat and we'll fire it up. Got some all-weather mats. It's nice to see that Ford carries on all the additional trim pieces and accents, the higher quality accents to the back seat, because oftentimes a lot of manufacturers will put very nice front seats and then just buttermilk basic out back. So I appreciate Ford for doing that here with the Raptor.
And the seats do flip up.
You want to show?
There's a lever right here.
So the seats fold up.
And then
A little bit of a cargo space, huh?
Put straps and all that.
Nice.
And then when these do come down as well, and it sits flat.
Okay, sweet. And nice.
Lever up there.
Okay. Then you got a rear sliding window out back. Nice. Okay. Well, let's fire it up real quick. Got Ford Performance on the entry point door sill. I think we got the there we go. So let me know what you guys think of the infotainment here. Obviously, personally, I appreciate the fact that it doesn't protrude above into the dash, right? So many auto manufacturers will create almost like looks like an afterthought, right? That whole tablet that pops up here. So I think that looks good. But obviously, you get more of that Ram TRX kind of side or vertical infotainment, which looks good. Talking with Curtis here, he said this has been good,
yeah,
but maybe not as intuitive as what he has in his Bronco. He has a Bronco Badlands as well. So we do have a full digital gauge display here, kind of like what you guys are used to seeing with a lot of new vehicles, right? Even the new Toyota Tacoma has that. My F-150 Raptor, of course, had a very similar look and feel in here. Some hard plastics up top. Again, you gotta get those cost cuts and cost savings somehow, and that's kind of where we find it, right? This feels pretty nice. I don't even know what I would call that. It's almost like a
Alcantara.
Alcantara, yeah. It feels good to the touch. Some gloss black here with more of that orange accenting. Overall, I think it's a really pleasant place to be. Raptor right here. Yeah, let me kind of bebop around here, kind of show you just a real quick idea. It's really responsive as we poke through here. No delay or on anything, and all the apps are pretty quick to load, so no complaints with just the whole intuitiveness of this. Down here we have our drive modes that you can flip through. Let me shut the door so you can see it. Hit OK for seatbelts. So we've got normal, off-road, get a little cinematic for each of them. Oh, I think I went too far. Yeah, I went to. So it automatically will shift into four-wheel drive when you go to, what is that, the off-road mode there, or Baja.
Yep.
And then sport and tow haul mode. So we'll put it, and it goes to four-wheel drive and tow haul mode. One thing that's really cool that my F-150 Raptor had as well, and it does make quite the difference even in the Ranger Raptor here. We'll get behind the wheel and drive a little bit more here in a second, but you can go through the different settings here for exhaust down here. You go sport and Baja. Let me give you a better closer look at this, guys. It gives you a little warning, only for off-road use, just like the F-150 does. You have an R button here. What does that do? It just turns it all.
Change it to your mode. So
you can do preset
Exactly.
configuration. Cool. Nice. Then suspension as well, and as well as your steering outputs, like the feel in the steering wheel is what you're saying, right?
Yep.
Just how it comfort.
Makes it stiffer, a little softer.
Cool. No, awesome. And then of course your standard controls over here, which you're used to seeing, right, for your volume, voice control, and all that. But yeah, black roof liner. That's always a nice touch nowadays because so many folks will put tan ones in there. Again, another kind of minimal cost savings that some dealer or manufacturers will do. Underneath the hood, it's okay if we pop the hood?
Yep. Down there.
Underneath the hood, we do have the 3-liter twin turbo V6 EcoBoost motor. This does sport 405 horsepower and 430 foot-pounds of torque, I believe. That sound right? 430?
Yeah, about that. It's fast.
Yes. Do you remember how much it weighs?
That I don't.
I mean, I think that just with between having 405 horsepower underneath the hood, 430 torque, and it being a lighter platform than F-150 Raptor, like the F-150 feels so light on its feet. So I'm super excited to get behind the wheel and stop blabbing to you guys here and give you an honest thought and opinion, my opinions on the driving experience here. Yeah, well, there you have it. Well, what do you say we take it for a spin? Alrighty, guys, stick with us. So I'll show you a little bit of the off-roading goodies here. So we kind of talked through the different drive modes being right here. You can select through them, but hitting this button brings you to your off-road mode. Well, your controls for your front and rear diff locks here. So front lock, and then your rear right down here. And then right in the middle is the trail assist, kind of like a crawl control adjustment there. But just hitting it on and off for your rear locker. Obviously that engages the rear locker. You need to be in a certain drive mode for the front locker there. Shifting through the different drive modes here puts you into Baja mode, off-road, normal, like the things that we walked through before. I'll show you this up top here. Allows you to check out your pitch. How close to tipping over are you, right? You can look through that there, and then your parking sensors out back. So definitely an interesting gear selection. You have a button up front. It's pretty simple to use. You just push the button up top here and it allows you to obviously put it into drive. I'll give you guys an idea of what it's like behind the wheel as we get on it. Definitely has a great rumble to it. We are in Baja mode for the exhaust, suspension, and steering output. So Baja across the board, and man, it inspires a whole lot of confidence as you are just ripping down these dirt roads here. See some beautiful views out here in Wyoming. Just listen to that exhaust. Sounds so good. It just soaks up everything with such ease. You know. And just even in the corners, right? So I mean, the Baja, putting into Baja suspension mode, it allows it to remain so planted as they're going over bumps around the corners in loose gravel and dirt here, which is just, again, so confidence inspiring while you're driving it. I can see how this could it could get dangerous because you can maybe get a little overly confident driving this thing, but man, it is a ton of fun. And again, another quick shout out to Curtis for letting me get behind the wheel of this and actually put a truck through the paces. As you guys know, I don't generally do this on the channel, so I'd really appreciate him offering this up. So right now we're in sport mode, right? So now standard 2-wheel drive. Whereas before, when we were in Baja and off-road mode, we were in 4 high. So maybe a little more squirrely with the back end. Let's not get too sporty with it, but see how it feels by comparison. So Curtis and I, we were talking earlier with the Fox live valve suspension that the Ranger Raptor has here. It's great because when you're driving on flat roads, flat surfaces, it feels very tight, very firm. But as soon as you start hitting some bumps and just ruts in the road, it really just absorbs it. It immediately cuts loose and absorbs it and takes more of a loose approach to it. So definitely fascinating. The technology behind the suspension here is wonderful. Again, just adding to the whole confidence-inspiring drive of it. You know, and the interesting bit is, I know we didn't talk too much about it in this video, the on-road mannerisms of this truck are just, it's baffling because it just is so smooth while you're driving it. You know, even with the KO3s here, the B.F. Goodrich KO3s, they're not loud, they're super quiet. The only thing that's loud on the thing is the exhaust when you put it in sport and of course the Baja mode. But it just, it can easily be a daily driver, right? And then on the weekends, do what we're doing right now. Take it to the trails, bebop through some pretty tough terrain. Obviously, we're not doing that right now, but you can get to high speeds with a high level of confidence, like we talked about. Get on again. I have a hard time believing that the TRD Pro Tacoma and the Trailhunter Tacoma is worth $10,000 more than this. Are you going to be getting $10,000 more worth of truck in that TRD Pro or Trailhunter? I just have a hard time believing that. And to be fair though, guys, I have not done this type of driving in that TRD Pro or Trailhunter, to be fair, right? But this here, I mean, it's hard to imagine it being that much better, 10 grand better in the Toyota. I love the scenery up here. It's so cool. Alright guys, we'll wrap up the video there. Again, another shout out to Curtis for letting me get behind the wheel of his Ranger Raptor here. It really was a ton of fun to drive off-road. And you guys know, I don't do that too often, so maybe it's just me being a complete noob to it, but it really was very confidence-inspiring. You know, we let it rip out there, and it was just a blast to drive. So between that suspension, the live valve Fox suspension that the Ranger Raptor has, and just the overall adjustments and controls for off-roading mechanisms that it has within it is pretty complex, and it's just, again, offers unmatched peace of mind while you're off-roading it. So again, shout out to Curtis. This really is a phenomenal vehicle, and I just can't imagine paying $10,000 more than this, $10,000 more than the $57,000 price tag for that TRD Pro and Trailhunter. You guys let me know if I'm being maybe a little too critical in that regard, and let me know which one you would prefer and why. So as always, I sincerely appreciate you guys taking the time to watch. Until next time.